Alrighty, welcome to a making of video of Kane Productions. Now typically I would shoot these things properly, but I actually shot them backwards. The cover is already finished, I am fully shaved, and I am ready to show you guys what I do to make these videos. And without any further ado, let's go. Before I start, I would like to point out that everything that I'm using in this video will be in the description below. For the microphones, I use an SM57 for both the top and the bottom of the snare, and all the rack toms. For the floor tom and bass drum, I use a Beta 52, Apex 185 for the overheads, and Audio-Technica AT4040, which is a bit pricey, but it gets the job done for the room. And depending on the song, I'll also use an SM7B for the ride or the hi-hat, depending on what I need to do. All the microphones run into a PreSonus Audio Box 1818 VSL USB audio interface, which then runs into my computer and is operated by Studio One as my DAW. For the cameras, I have 6 GoPros and 4 DSLRs. The GoPros are all GoPro Hero Plus except one, which is a GoPro Hero 3, while the DSLRs are all Canon, 2 of which are T2Is and the other 2 are T3Is. The drums are TW Collector Series in a twisted blue oyster finish with black hardware, and the snare typically changes, but at the moment it is a Timekeeper by DW. As for the cymbals, all cymbals are made by Sabian except one that is a modified Sabian cymbal made by Midwest Cymbal Repair. Now, when I make my videos, I typically spend about 1 or 2 days a week, maybe, depending on how much time I have to learn the song, and also depending on the difficulty, some songs may take longer. Typically, it takes me about a month in total, and once I'm ready, I get the song recorded. Okay, so today's the day that I'm going to do the actual cover. Now, there is a total of 10 cameras. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I have to make sure that they're all empty, all the memory cards are empty, and I have to make sure that all the cameras are fully charged. Now, to empty all the cameras, I typically reformat the cards to also avoid the issue where the cameras would glitch and stop recording. And I also have to make sure that when I do my takes, that none of the takes exceeds a 12-minute mark. So let's say if I have a song I'm covering that's about 5 minutes long, I may do 2 takes, but if it's like 4 minutes long, I will not risk doing the 3rd take. I will turn off all the cameras, I'll stop recording, and I'll start up everything again, just to make sure that when it comes out to the computer, everything is fully organized. Besides that, there's nothing else really to it. It's just, it takes a lot of time, because I have to take all the memory cards, run them through one camera, reformat everything, bring them back out, make sure all the cameras are charged. Now, this can take several hours just because of how many cameras there are and how many chargers I have. Besides that, I don't think there's anything else to it right now, so let's just get to it. No food cam today because I forgot to buy the memory card for that one. So when we go to Longomokwe, let's make sure that we, when we go to Walmart, see if they have micro SD cards, 16 gigs.
Then we'll put that on our Walmart list then.
Okay, here we go. Ready? I already forgot the intro. Let's start from the beginning. The cameras are all right out. Oh.
Did that fall off?
Huh?
Did that fall off?
Huh?
Did that fall off?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
How did you not notice that?
Did you notice that you have a big ass crack in your china?
Oh yeah, I know, and there's also 2 cracks on this symbol.
Oh, okay. We're gonna be broke.
Yeah, we're gonna be so broke.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Also,
but they still sound okay. I haven't.
They sound fine.
Huh? I know it's a bit.
Oh no, I was gonna say like the effect in the camera is actually quite nice.
Did you use it?
No, not really. Because I didn't want to, like, just like the last maybe 2 minutes, I realized, and I was like, I'm going to bring this up to him because I don't want to make executive decisions without.
It could be nice.
Input.
Is it off balance? Is it if you let it go, the camera slide?
No, not really.
Okay. The cameras. I need a shower. Okay, so now we are at the sound editing section of things. Now, in this case, what I want to try and do is I want to try and get my drums to sound as close to the original. I've gotten this question a lot and I would like to answer it just for you guys, those who are trying to do these things at home. When it comes down to getting the drums from the original song out of the way, you can't. The trick is to do it as close as possible to the original, and also when it comes down to this, to the mixing part, you want to try and get your drums to sound as close as possible to the original and use the original to complement your drums. Now let's see, in this case we have, this is my drums. Alright, and then we have the original as well. Let's see here. Now I wanted to try and compare the two and make them sound the best as possible together. Now I already listened to this a bit and I realized that the toms don't sound as good as I'd like them to, specifically the rack tom. But there are two things that I typically do. One of them is mixing, which is obviously getting all the levels right to make sure that the kick is loud enough, the snare is loud enough, they all sound good, everything, all the tones of all the drums sound good. And then eventually I would take the tracks out and I transfer them to Adobe when I start video editing, and through Adobe itself I actually use the mastering tool they have on it for audio, and I use that to master the drums. Now to those who don't know, mastering is basically, imagine bringing everything as loud as you can without it distorting, by killing certain frequencies. So if there's too much bass, it'll rumble, if it's too high, it'll crackle. So we kill certain frequencies to not let that happen, basically. That's that in a nutshell. It's a bit more complicated than that. You use different things, different effects here and there, but I'm gonna keep it short and simple for you guys. So let's see, in this case, I don't really like the way that my toms are sounding. I don't like the rack tom specifically, so let's look at that. It's too punchy, so I'm gonna tweak it a bit and then come back to you guys, alright? So after checking things out and looking at them a bit closely, I realized that all I had to do was bring the tom down just a bit, the tom mic specifically, and after that I realized that it blends really well with the song, so I didn't really have to touch it. I don't often touch the way my drums sound, but you can tell here I have 3 kick tracks alone. Now there's only one microphone, but what I do, I've learned this trick from watching videos online and everything. I grab the track and I duplicate it, and each one has a different setting. So if you listen closely, you'll see that one, for example, here has more punch, and then I have one with really low end, and compare that with one that's basically a natural tone, and then the 3 together sound like so. Yep. So this was a scrape tag here. You can actually see that I stopped. Yeah. After looking at everything, it came down to the final track, and I kept it, and I think you guys found that part pretty hilarious, to be honest. I wasn't expecting the cymbal to fall off. But the show must go on, essentially. Anyway, let's go. So now we're at the section where I do all the final sound touches, and then I also put in the song and all the footage. So here we have all of our footage right here, as well as the drums themselves, the song, and everything else. Now for the drums, I use a mastering tool that comes with the Adobe presets. So if you look at your folder of audio effects, you'll find it down at the bottom here of mastering. Now I put it in, and let's say the drums sound like this without it. Now once I kick it in and I touch it up a bit, I have some effects that I throw in there that make it, I take that and it sounds like this at the end. So it doesn't take me long at all, if I get the sound of the drums good enough. Now sometimes if the song is a bit too finicky, I would have to go back and forth between the recording software and Adobe, just because I am, again, no professional. This is the way I do things, and I find that because of the tools that I have available, I can do it. Now if you're a beginner at home, if you have Adobe and you have a simple recording software, you can do this too. So it doesn't require a lot of money or a lot of extra work. This comes with a lot of help. Okay, so now we're gonna move forward to the footage. Okay, so now with video editing, I want to show you specifically with the color correction. Now, for those who don't know, I have to edit the footage also to make things look nicer, essentially. Now, I do have good lighting on the kit itself, but lighting isn't enough, Now, I have 10 cameras on the kit, technically 9, and I need to make sure that they all look similar in the footage itself. So in this case, let's say I have the 4 DSLRs and I have the other 5 GoPros. I have to, because they're different cameras, I have to make sure they all look the same. Now, I have a bunch of presets I've already made through the years of making these videos, so I don't have to do a lot of work. But when you do this yourself, I recommend using the RGB curves and using your brightness and contrast to make things look nicer. Now, it's pretty simplistic, it speaks for itself when you do it, but I want to show you here. So, in this case, my presets, the one I'm going to use for the overhead is what I like to call the overheroes. Now, what that essentially is just the name I gave it so that I know what it is. And if I activate it, once I put it in, so this is the preset that came with it, that I made. And if you click on it, so let's first put on the curves. So the curves will basically make things look the color I want them to. Okay, now obviously if I push it too far, it'll look weird. And then with the brightness and the contrast, it looks like this. So now, if you compare it to what it looked like before, this is what it looked like. Now it's really bright, it's too strong on the whites, and I bring it down a bit and make it a bit more, I guess per se, yellow, as I'd like to say it. Now, compared to other angles here, let's compare it to a DSLR. So, let's say, compared to this one here. Actually, no, let's not even use that one, let's use this one, I like this angle better. So, you're going to already see they're pretty similar, but this one's way darker than I like it to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the other preset I've made, and this one specifically I call it left because it's to my left. And I grab it and I'm just going to slide it right into the presets of this one. And there we go. So it looks like that, and if we compare it to the other one, they're a lot closer now. Now this took me a long time to get together, at least, you know, several, like, almost an hour or so per se with all the cameras, even more I'd say, maybe 2 hours, because I have to make sure every single camera, each camera is slightly different. I have to, they all have different lighting, you know, the way that they interact with the light, I have to make sure they're just right. Okay, so now we have all the footage here. As you can see, every single one of these bars here is one of the angles. So for example, this is the new camera we added, this is the overhead, this is the one that's right in front of me, the one that's underneath the crash symbol on my left, the one that's underneath the crash symbols on my right, and so on and so on. The overhead is there somewhere too. So once I finish color correcting everything, I just need to cut everything up. Now as you can see here, the audio of every single one of the cameras is right here. Now all I have to do is, because I already lined them all up and stick them all together, I just need to start cutting things and picking the best angles for the best parts that I like, at least. And hopefully I did a good job and you guys can enjoy it and I didn't mess anything up. So at the end of the day, I am left with this. So I put everything together so you guys can see it a bit better. So we have the footage here, we have all the clips here. So here you have the song, here I have the full drum section. So just the drums. Right, and you can see it alternates between the angles as it goes. And I've color corrected everything so everything matches. Typically you wouldn't have to do much color correction if you're just doing one camera, but because I'm using at least 9 cameras, it gets a bit tricky. But otherwise, that's everything. This is how I make my videos. Thank you guys for watching, and if you made it all the way here, I hope you enjoy my overgrown beard that I haven't shaved in over a month. And I hope that you're all taking care of yourselves and that you're all doing well. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll see you all again in the next video. If you liked it, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. I'm no pro. I just wanted to show you guys what I do behind the scenes when I make these videos. It is currently 11:03 p.m. and I'm just exporting the video now. So thank you guys for watching and have a good night.